Welcome to the Inc. Productivity Tip of the Day. Today's tip. Shy and introverted? Science says you probably make a much better first impression than you think. An expert opinion by Jeff Hayden. She does all the little things right. She makes eye contact. She smiles. She listens more than she talks. She asks smart questions and meaningful follow-up questions about the other person. Most importantly, she thinks other people will like her, which makes a huge difference. A study published in Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin found that people who expect to be accepted are in fact perceived to be more likable. Makes sense. If you assume other people will like you, you'll be more at ease, more confident, more comfortable. You'll be warmer and friendlier, which means people will be more likely to like you. Sounds good in theory, but what if you're relatively shy? Actually believing someone you're about to meet will like you? Or, after the fact, feeling like you actually made a great first impression? It's a lot easier to assume people will not like you, which the study referenced above says creates its own, this time negative, self-fulfilling prophecy. That cycle is especially likely to occur since a series of studies published in Psychological Science show that many people feel they make relatively poor social impressions, even though that's generally not the case. Psychologists call the disconnect between the impression we thought we made and the impression we actually made the liking gap, a cognitive bias that can make it harder to make new connections, engage in new collaborations, and form lasting professional and personal relationships. If you don't think people will like you, or did like you, it's tough to put yourself out there. Partly, that's due to the natural insecurity we feel when we first meet someone. But it's also because one of the studies shows those inaccurate judgments of how other people feel about you can sometimes last for months. The phenomenon also extends to teams. A study published in Organizational Behavior and Human Decision Processes found that participants regularly underestimated how much people on their teams liked them, which made them less likely to provide honest feedback, ask for help or advice, and work together in the future, even though those behaviors would have been welcomed by the people on their teams. Add it all up, and the liking gap is clearly a problem, but it can be overcome. The next time you're about to meet someone new, take a deep breath and commit to taking a few steps almost guaranteed to make most people like you. First, offer a genuine compliment. Everyone loves to be praised, especially since no one gets enough praise. So be prepared to tell people what they did or do well. Whenever possible, find out whom you will meet and then do a little research. If coming prepared isn't possible, no problem. Show interest by asking questions. But go past, what do you do? Ask how it feels to do what they do. Ask the toughest part about what they do. That's my favorite question since everyone feels their job is hard. Once you learn how they deal with difficult situations, you'll find plenty of ways to praise them. Not only will the people you meet appreciate the, again genuine, compliments, they'll feel more accomplished and more important, and they'll like you for making them feel that way. And you'll know a lot more than you otherwise would about them. Win-win. Second, help people talk about themselves. Most people love to talk about themselves, and even if they don't, they still can't help it. Research shows approximately 40% of everyday speech is spent telling other people what we think or feel, basically talking about our subjective experiences. Not just that you ate out last night, but whether you liked the food, and whether you liked the restaurant, and the ambiance, and the server, and it goes on and on. In fact, we almost can't help sharing our thoughts and feelings. Research also shows talking about ourselves, whether in person or on social media, triggers the same pleasure sensation in the brain as does money or food. Self-disclosure causes increased activity in brain regions associated with the sense of reward and satisfaction from money, food, and even sex. By helping people talk about themselves, you're seen as a great conversationalist even if you actually said very little. In the process, you also make other people feel better about themselves, which makes them like you. That's another win-win. Next, say get instead of have. Think about the difference in statements. I had to go to a networking event. I got to meet some great people. And I have to interview candidates for an opening. I get to select a great person to join the team. We all like to be around happy, enthusiastic, and motivated people. Do you want to be around people who have to do certain things or who want to do certain things? Keep in mind, choosing the right words also affects how you feel. Don't say, I have to call a frustrated customer. Say, I want to fix the problem. Having to is an obligation. Wanting to is an opportunity. And lastly, show a little vulnerability. Great teams are often led by people willing to admit weaknesses and failings. Great friends are also willing to be vulnerable. Want to make a great first impression? Don't try to impress. Instead, be humble. Share your screw-ups. Admit your mistakes. Be the cautionary tale. Laugh at yourself. When you do, other people won't laugh at you. They'll laugh with you. And they'll immediately like you for it. And will show they want to be around you more. That's the perfect sign you made a great first impression. And a great way to overcome any degree of liking gap you might feel. That's it from Inc. You can find more expert opinions and great articles at Inc.com. Be sure to come back each and every weekday for another tip from Inc.